Hey guys, this is Andarn27. I'm welcoming you back for part 2 of the Timberborn series that we've begun. This is the continuation of my previous recording, so you'll pardon the abrupt beginning on this one, but we are just finishing up our first drought. We lost 4 Jumazis, and now we are going to try and not lose anybody else to hunger or thirst. So I hope you enjoy the episode, and feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. Alright, we made it through only 1 death. Now, you'll notice that there are only 9 beavers. We had 1 Arity died of old age, so... And there's our upcoming beaver kit. Kits are our future. We need 12 more by next month. Well, I don't know that we can support 12, but that is certainly important that we get at least 1. Oh, and well-being. We're up to 5 well-being, so obviously that just means how happy your beavers are. Other than getting those boosts to their speed and life expectancy, I don't know that that actually does much. This is an early access game, so as the developers add more things, hopefully that will have more meaning than just a bonus. Because as of right now, it really doesn't mean a whole lot. Something that might be fun to implement would be maybe to have a system where as time goes on, your beavers expect more and become less productive if you aren't meeting certain well-being milestones. Something kind of like Rimroad is what comes to mind, where over time, as your colony becomes more wealthy, they expect their standard of living to increase. Alright. We are doing pretty well, it looks like. So food, we have 72 food, and the berries will keep on growing. Most likely I'll rip these out at some point, but at least for now we have a good source of food. We have plenty of water storage. What we need are more... I'm actually going to leave that one and delete this right here. Give ourselves 1 more unemployed beaver. What we need are some new babies, rather. These do seem to go at a decent speed. I'm probably going to keep for 2 water and 2 berries, so berries are going to be an important resource, actually. And there's our second drought. I was not expecting that so quickly. We should still be okay, but we are going to need to start placing down some more advanced things. I'll let these guys work while I do a little bit of planning here. Don't need that. Don't have enough beavers to be assigning to labor jobs. I think I am going to place down 3 of these, just so that we get some more beavers coming when we get this second barracks up. We need research. We are desperately going to need inventors. So for now, while we're a little bit short on available beavers, we're just going to have 1, but I would eventually like to increase that probably to 3. I think we'll put them right in here. Yeah, that works. But as far as later goes, these are going to be a low priority. And even this one here is just going to be a normal priority. I still want them to focus. I'd like to get this farmer. They're going to have that barracks built soon. So we should have plenty coming. Our first kit should be produced here soon. That is going to be an interesting thing, because the folktales, they just produce the natural way as God intended. So these breeding vats are going to be an interesting mechanic to deal with, where children are a resource, so to speak. I think at the moment things have calmed down. Probably put another jump cut in here and come back when something else happens. Okay, just a little brief note in here. We got our second farmhouse, and as I mentioned, now I'm going to have 2 set on harvesting and 2 set on planting. The way that they were doing things, you can see they only got about half of this field harvested before the carrots came ripe again. So 2 farmhouses should be able to handle this. I'll watch that. If it turns out they need more, then we'll probably have to bump up our agricultural district a little bit. But at least at the moment, I think 2 farmhouses should be more than enough to keep our people fed and happy. We're producing plenty of carrots. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Beavers prioritize, yes, they are prioritizing carrots. They will prioritize whatever food benefits them the most. They won't necessarily vary their diets, I don't believe. If I click on Namro here, you can see he's got carrots, and that satisfies his hunger. Now, I believe if we had bread, he would prioritize eating bread. Not 100% sure on that. Maybe they would vary their diet some, but however that works, and maybe if you know, please feel free to leave a comment. In fact, I'll take this moment to kind of show the channel. This is a new channel. I'm doing this just for fun, really, but if it takes off, then great. But if you like the content you're seeing, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It is a new channel, so if you leave a comment, feel sure that I will respond to you. I definitely want to see this grow. I think that this could be fun, and yeah, definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. I've only played through 1 game, though I had reached a point where my poor PC was screaming at me. Just couldn't handle it anymore. So this is a much smaller map. Hopefully we won't run into that problem here. But yeah, please let me know if I'm doing something wrong, or if you think there's any suggestions. Definitely willing to give things a try, and we will go from there. I'm going to go ahead and let these beavers do their thing, and we'll see you in a bit. Oh sweet, we did get our first baby out of the vat, so the drought is, or midway through the drought. In fact, I think at that last cut we were already in the drought. Still plenty of water, so I'm not super worried about that yet. Would definitely like to get some floodgates built so that we can do that. But more importantly, we are going to need some new timber sources. So we have got to get our research going, which we will as soon as some of these children grow up. In fact, maybe nobody's even working this building. I may turn one of these pumps off and have I'm going to pause some of these inventor buildings that aren't going to be needed for a little bit. We'll play that one by ear. Babies don't need anyone working them, so that's good. But I want to make sure... Oh wait, I actually do know one thing we can do. Not this gatherer, but this lumberjack is no longer doing anything, so I'm going to go ahead and delete him. His job is no longer needed. Maybe he'll go work... No, I really want you to go work the... We don't necessarily need this right now. They actually got plenty happening, so I want you to go work the research job. Alright. That will be very temporary. As soon as we get some of these kits growing up, we will put them to work and get some new resources coming in. But for now, at least, I feel pretty decent with where we're at. It does look like we have plenty of water, though definitely are going to want to address that issue. That is not going to last long when we have a bigger beaver population, which we're already working on, so definitely going to be a priority. Okay, so I did just notice this little symbol pop up. Our capacity is full. That's not a huge problem, but I definitely do want to have my beavers storing food, and at the moment, actually, I think that's all they are storing, but we are going to be working as we have our population growing now. We have exceeded our start population. Wow, these droughts are relentless. I was not expecting that. That's why they call it hard. But with our population growing very soon, we are going to need to start storing food. I want some dedicated food storage. Like I said, at the moment at least, the only thing we are storing is food. Logs have their own storage, but we're going to be expanding and putting in some lumber mills and things like that. So we're going to want to have dedicated storage. And one thing I've toyed with, but I don't know if I'm going to do this or not, would be having dedicated storage for, maybe not necessarily for each resource. I think some of the end, later game resources probably don't need dedicated storage, but just making sure that I always have stuff is probably going to be pretty important. So, especially as at the later game, it does seem like the storage becomes kind of a cap on you. It can really put you at in a position where you just don't have anywhere to put things, and so your beavers just sort of shut down. Your economy grinds to a halt because there's no storage, which is realistic, I suppose. Just gonna make stuff and throw it out in the street to rot, especially where this is all wood materials. That's literally what it would do. But I mean, we can kind of see that in real life too. If you don't have some place to put it, or I guess right now it's not so much all the shipping problems aren't being caused by a lack of space to put things so much as they're being caused by a lack of people to unload them. We actually have enough to get our forester, so we are going to get him. And we want to put our tree farm. Suppose we could put it back in here, keep things running the way they were. There's not much space over here to grow things, so I don't think over here is going to be useful. It's also part of the reason I don't think opening this area up is going to be useful. There's just not much space here. We most certainly will come back in here to get to this underground mine, but even on just the regular human ruins, there's not that much back there. So I don't anticipate we're going to be going there. I didn't really look up here. Well, there's a lot of stuff up here. You know what might be interesting, and maybe we'll get to this point, but we do have access to pumps. I'm not 100% sure how they work, but we may put down a pump, one of these guys, these deep mechanical water pumps, and throw him over here to basically create a second river. I think that might be interesting. And there's a lot more space to grow up here, a lot more room for farmland. I think that'll be our long-term goal, is to move up here. And we'll create the human metropolis. That said, I never did decide where to put this forester. I'm thinking we're just going to put him over here. So we'll throw him over here. And as trees go, looking at this, you have lots of different trees. Birch is not a terribly useful tree, but it does grow the fastest. In fact, at least at the moment, I'm going to pause this. At least at the moment, the most important thing is just to get logs. Which the best logs are going to be maple. Let's see here. Let's just do some simple math here. One log for 9 days. That's basically a ninth of a log per day. The pine takes 12 days. Well, I guess we'll look at it the way it says it. So basically, you're getting a log every 9 days. This one, you're getting 2 logs every 12. So if we just run that for efficiency, basically a log per 6 days. And maple, you get 8 logs for 30 days. That is almost a log every 3 days, so to speak, right? Obviously, you get them all at the end. You're not going to go and do partial harvesting each day. That's not how how I can't think of the word. That's not how that works. And chestnut trees get you a log every 4 logs every 24 days. That's a log every 6. So really, maple is the best bet. So we are going to go ahead and plant ourselves a maple tree farm. This will also give access to maple syrup eventually. Whether we actually take advantage of any of that, who knows? In my other game, I never even used the maple syrup. That's not to say it's not a worthwhile resource, and this may seem like it's a bit excessive, but it's really not. Oh, and there's our drought. 7 days of famine. Because of how long these trees take to grow, your forester really spends most of his time... Oh, we need planks. Well, your forester spends most of his time just planting trees. It's not something he's going to necessarily have a lot of. He's not going to really need to spend all of his time. He can take care of a lot of trees, I guess is what I'm getting at. We're okay on that. We are going to need those planks. So what we are going to do is get a lumber mill. And normally I would say put it down here and take advantage of the flow of water, but with these droughts, I am really concerned that we are not going to get to take advantage of that. It just doesn't seem like you spend nearly enough time with flowing water. So we are going to go ahead and build our industrial district, probably up here by the researcher, and we are going to run that with beaver power, just a power wheel. Let's see here. Now you can set this up with gears. You can see it down here. You've got all these power shafts. It would be interesting to see them add in a mechanism whereby you see some loss, because that's one of the problems with power shafts. It's a great way to get power from a generator. In fact, you have to have some means of moving power from your generator to your whatever needs it, your demand. Power shafts are a great way of doing that, but you do suffer loss, and obviously you can only make a power shaft so long before it just twists itself apart. Um, in engineering, there is a saying that anything sufficiently long, any steel sufficiently long, no matter the size, eventually becomes wire. So that's exactly what happens. You wouldn't want to turn your power wheels with a wire. You have to have something sufficiently thick, and the further it has to go, the thicker it has to be. So I don't really know that it has to go that far, but it would be interesting to see some power losses if you're turning gears, because gears do take a certain amount of power to turn. Efficiency, that's the term I was looking for. Anytime you have power transmission, you're going to have efficiency, and lower efficiency obviously is higher power loss. So it'll be interesting, but probably unnecessary. And in this game, the wire already consumes an awful lot of calculations, and so last thing you want is more calculations slowing you down. Well, we are down to 17 logs, but we do have our planks being made, so we should have there's our forester. Water level is still fine. We have enough research, we can build something. I think we're gonna need stairs just so that we can access some of these other areas. Yeah, we're gonna get ourselves some stairs. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these plantings. I'm gonna put a trail through them all the way to the top. There we go. And there's a reason for this. I want to get those floodgates built. We have a tree blocking the way. Alright, well, although I hate to tear out a tree, we are indeed going to remove that tree so that we can get back in here. Getting that water up and running is going to be a top priority. Alright. Well, it looks like I am getting pretty close to the end of my time for this recording session, so I am going to finish up with this drought, and we will call it there, and hopefully I get this episode up pretty quickly. But hopefully you have enjoyed watching. And like I said, please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know if I'm doing something wrong, or if you think there's something I could be doing better. Maybe I don't understand some of the mechanics here. Feel free to say whatever you want. I'm a pretty chill guy. Open to feedback. Our water is already showing signs of maybe being a little bit over abused, if you will. So we will definitely be researching how to get that. But first things first, we are going to need a stairs down into the water, and let's see, I think what we're probably going to do is go straight for this. The 500 research is an awful lot at the moment, and I am slightly lacking in research. I don't know if I want to wait that long. So we may end up putting down some of these smaller floodgates, maybe a double instead of a triple. See, I do actually have 2 unemployed beavers right now. Maybe we can do a tech rush. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and employ our beavers working in here. Let's see here. Ah, perfect. We have 100% efficiency. Just what you want to see. So a lot of, I'm suspecting what I may end up doing is a lot of my stuff may end up looking like this, where each building has a dedicated power wheel or multiple. Some require multiple, and we may just run on beaver power. The folktales have access to windmills, and that was decent, although very dependent on the weather. But at least on normal, you could depend on the water flow. Here, that's just not going to be a thing. Here comes our water back. So, yeah, I am thinking this is going to be a beaver-powered colony, and that will be plenty interesting. That is the end of our drought. So, with that said, as I mentioned before, if you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, subscribe. And we will catch you in the next one.